What is up, everybody? We're back here at King Film Sports for the 2024 NFL Super Bowl 58 prediction here officially on the channel here. And what a championship Sunday we had in store for us yesterday. And it culminates in one final game between Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs and Brock Purdy and the 49ers here. So let's get into the game recap for both of the championship games. Started out with Chiefs and the Ravens here. And I know what everyone was saying, Mahomes is a dog. How can you not bet him there? We just had insane value. I hopped on that line, Ravens -3 as it started, and then it ended up climbing to -4.5 by game time. So via the closing line value, you already know that was insane value with a 1.5 there, very important. But the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes seem to defy the odds in every possible respect. When I'm watching that game, I see on the first drive, the 4th and 2 for the Chiefs, that Mahomes scrambling to his right, just a great throw and a phenomenal catch by Travis Kelce. That just defies all of the power ratings and analytics that go into this stuff. Chiefs had the inferior offense for sure. The defenses were about comparable, but you just see the difference making with Patrick Mahomes. On those first two drives, I think they end in touchdowns there for the Chiefs. That was really enough to carry them for the entire day. And from that point on, their defense ended up making some great plays. And the offense just in general didn't make any huge mistakes that would lead to them losing that game. So they didn't even score in the second half, only had 17 points, but I still think that Mahomes had a great performance. But that really wasn't the story other than the first two drives there, because it was really this Ravens offense and Lamar Jackson, the presumptive MVP of the NFL this season, and boy, did they choke hard at home here. This was a disastrous performance from them. And Monken, the offensive coordinator, certainly a large part of the blame goes on him, because I don't think that the Ravens played at all great in that first half when they only had that touchdown, which was really a broken play. Lamar escapes and throws it deep to Zay Flowers. But other than that, I just feel like they didn't run the ball from the get-go. I mean, sure, they are losing for a lot of the game, but a lot of that was in the first three quarters, where I think that they should have just stuck to the ground game more with Gus Edwards. They were cooking on the ground. And Lamar Jackson, I mean, sure, maybe Steve Spagnuolo, the Chiefs defensive coordinator, had a great game plan, which he did, but I think that Lamar should have scrambled more. He was really just scrambling in the pocket, running around backwards, trying to throw it, and that led to some bad decision-making. So I think that Lamar should have been more aggressive on the ground, and I think that he should have been less aggressive throwing it downfield. I think that he took too many risks. He should have taken more checkdowns, and perhaps that was on the play calling, but just overall, that was really bad for the first three quarters. Then they finally start moving the ball. Zay Flowers gets a deep ball. Then he has the taunting call, which is obviously horrible there. And then later in that drive, when they get in the red zone, Zay Flowers going to the end zone. Ball gets punched out by Snead, I believe, and then the Ravens do not capitalize. Chiefs end up falling on that one. Then I think the next drive, Lamar and the Ravens are moving it down the field once again, down 10, so a field goal would be fine. Lamar ends up throwing it into triple coverage to Likely in the end zone, gets picked, and then unfortunately for the Ravens, they did not have enough time. They got a field goal late, but the Chiefs ended up running out the clock there. So just a classic dynasty-like performance there from the Chiefs. Andy Reid, great game plan, and that defense. This was the matchup of the number 1 defense in the Ravens and the number 2 defense in the Chiefs. And Ravens defense, I think, especially in the second half, bowed up really tall, but the Chiefs defense was the story of this game, and the inefficiency of that Ravens offense really sold them there. Only 10 points in Baltimore, so the Chiefs end up winning. Then we go to this NFC Championship game, which was a lot better in the end, a lot more high scoring. It turned out to be what a game we had in store for us in this one. And really, this is just a continuing theme from last game against the Packers and from certain points in the season. Whenever the Niners have lost, they have gotten their defense dominated in the ground game, and that just started out from the get-go here. Lions get the ball to start off. Jahmyr Gibbs is getting it going on the ground. Then you have the end around to Jamison Williams for a 40-yard touchdown there. Ben Johnson just was scheming it up to start out this game on this Niners defense. That is very concerning going against Pacheco next week, so you'll have to monitor that. But yeah, the Lions in the first half to start out this game were just cooking the Niners front seven on the ground there. It was really a concerning sight, and Jared Goff didn't make a bunch of huge plays. I remember looking at his stat line at one point. I mean, he only had single-digit completions in that first half, but he was making the requisite throws, and the Lions receivers were getting some big yards after catch there. And that 3rd and 12 that they got running the ball late in the first half, I think really epitomized the domination that the Lions were having on offense to start out this game. And the Niners offense, I mean, I think the Purdy struggles are a bit overstated. Sure, that one interception with the pocket closing in on him was bad, but it was 3rd down. Tough decision there. But other than that, he sailed a couple balls, but the Niners offense really couldn't get the run game going in that first half, and they were really just losing from the get-go there. So I didn't think it was a horrible half on offense from them there. You also had the Moody missed kick. But then at halftime, everything changed. Niners go get a field goal. Then the Lions march it down. and then Dan Campbell goes for it, I believe, on the Niners' 30-yard line. And I'm not going to act like this was a heinous, horrible decision by Dan Campbell, because there is a chance that Badgley misses that field goal. But in that position, up 14, you can make it a 17-point game with 7 minutes left in the third. I don't know, left something out there to be desired. But in the end, it comes down to execution, and Josh Reynolds ended up dropping it. Tough ball to catch on fourth down there. Also, considering it was 4th and 2, maybe the Lions want to run it on a couple of those fourth downs. I'm not sure, but Reynolds was open, just not able to secure the catch there, so tough for them. Then the Niners obviously get that huge catch to Ayuk off of Vildor's face mask, end up punching it in. Then the next play, Jahmyr Gibbs with the fumble, and then the Niners punch it in once again. Just think that Purdy and his running ability was really on full effect in that second half. You really saw some of his quickness there, and that, I believe, is what separates him and Goff, because you see both of them had some struggles in the pocket when it wasn't going their way. Sure, they can make the throws when the rush is in their face, but Goff just wasn't mobile enough to make big plays. As you saw later, when it was 27-24 Niners, then the Lions once again have a fourth down decision. They opt not to tie it. They opt to go for it, which, I mean, that's debatable as well, but going on Dan Campbell's mentality and how the Lions have been playing this season, it wasn't that bad. Niners get some interior pressure. Goff going out to his right, not able to escape, and throws a pretty bad ball to Amon-Ra St. Brown, which ends up coming up short. So Niners get that key stop, and that was essentially the game. As they punched in that drive to go up 10, Lions score a touchdown late. So Niners end up holding on, scoring 27 unanswered points at a portion of this game, which ended up being massive there. So the Niners' huge comeback victory when it looked like Detroit was going to crush them earlier in this game. So obviously the free lock of the week lost once again. Yes, guys, we were once in a time 15-4. Now a couple game losing streak has us down to 15-6. Still very good though on the season. And now we get to the betting locks recap. I did have 2 units on that Ravens play. I just was so confident, and in retrospect, yeah, it's going against Patrick Mahomes. Yes, it was a tough environment, but that Ravens offense just choked it. Lamar in the playoffs, not great, 2-4 record. Then you had the Ravens Chiefs under 45, which I put in. Just thought it was going to be a dogfight, low-scoring game. I mean, I had it going about 23-17 Ravens, so the Chiefs scored about how much I thought they would, but just the Ravens were a lot worse on offense than I expected. Then Lions-Niners over 50.5. This one looked good all throughout, because even in the first half when the Niners weren't scoring, Lions still had 24 points at that point, so ended up going way over the total with a 34-31 final score there, 65 total points. So overall in the week, essentially even, minus some juice there, but hope to get back into the green this week with our Super Bowl prediction, and we get a rematch of the game 4 years ago. What a Super Bowl that was. 20-10 lead, obviously, with a few minutes left in the fourth quarter. Then the Chiefs offense gets cooking, and they get the comeback victory in that one. Mahomes and the Chiefs' first Super Bowl there. And we get into this one here, and I think Brock Purdy's going to make a big difference over what Jimmy Garoppolo did a few years ago in that Super Bowl. And that, I don't actually think that there are many similarities between these two teams in the game that they played all that while ago. Other than the coaching staffs, because this Niners defense, as we've seen in the playoffs, is a lot worse. That 2019 pass rush was something else with Armstead, Buckner, and Bosa in his rookie year. I mean, that front seven was phenomenal. Not as great this year, and they've been deteriorating over the season, but I do think that the secondary is a little bit better. But the Chiefs' offense is a lot worse, but you did see that the Chiefs' offensive line were able to block the Ravens up front last week, so that's going to be an interesting battle. As I mentioned earlier, it's all going to be about Pacheco on the ground. Are they able to establish the running game? If Pacheco is able to go for over 100 yards and get a touchdown here, I think it's going to be very tough for this Niners team to win this game. So they're going to have to play the run like they did in the second half with more inspired effort there. And then also you saw Bosa get a couple of sacks, but really the other players, Armstead and Chase Young, Javon Hargrave, weren't getting after Goff. They're going to have to do a much better job in this one, and I think that they will be able to some effect. It's going to come down to Mahomes on these critical third downs. You saw that he was able to look like Lamar or even Purdy in that game. He made some great plays on the ground with his legs. So is he going to be able to do that? Are the Niners linebackers going to be able to contain him there? That's going to be an interesting storyline. Ultimately, I think this Chiefs team puts up around 20 to 24 points in this game. It's going to be on the Niners offense to win them this game. And going on that matchup, this Chiefs defense looked great last week, as we've already detailed on Lamar. And Purdy and Shanahan, a couple weeks to dial up these plays. I think that plays into their hands. Steve Spagnuolo obviously is going to make great adjustments, so I think it's incumbent on the Niners to get an early lead in this game, something that they really haven't done the last 2 weeks. But I think that the Niners need to get a first quarter lead, or that will serve them very well in this game going forward. Just get Purdy's confidence going in the first quarter. Of course, they can come back, but that will be very important. And then I think that you've got to get Kittle going over the middle, because these Chiefs corners are very aggressive. They're going to be jumping up on the balls. I think you're going to have some opportunities to go to Ayuk or Debo deep, but you've got to get them off their mark, and I think that Kittle will be huge over the middle in this game, and then Purdy's going to have to stay in there in the pocket when it's crumbling down. Going to have to use his legs like he did last week, and in order to make plays on third downs, I think that's just going to be massive in this game. So For my official prediction, I do think that Purdy and this Niners offense will get it done over this Chiefs team. I had the Niners winning preseason. I had them winning before the postseason, so I'm going to stick with my prediction. Not too confident at this point, but give me the Niners to barely edge out the Chiefs. I like them to win by field goal. I think it's going to come down to a last fourth quarter drive. Which defense will stand up tall to make the stop? Which quarterback will end up making the winning play here? That will be very interesting, and I think that Purdy will be able to limit the mistakes. Maybe he has one turnover, but no more than that, and I think that that is good enough for this Niners team to win the game behind a strong performance. Christian McCaffrey there. So with all that being said, I've got the Niners beating the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, although I can see how you'd go either way in this one. Just think that the Niners offense is a little more talented. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments down below. Do you agree with me? What is your analysis of the NFC and AFC Championship games? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.